It's great to be here with you all this morning on this beautiful day. It may be raining, but the sun is shining on Broadway Junction. My name's Andrew Kimball. I'm CEO of the city's Economic Development Corporation, EDC, and it's really an honor to be here today. Mayor Adams will be here shortly. This has been a project that's been near and dear to his heart. I know because he talked to me about it a long time ago when he was borough president, and the need to bring new commercial space to downtown areas that didn't have it. And that is exactly what this project is about today. I'm glad to be joined by our partners in the city, particularly Commissioner Pinnock at DCAS, really our arm-in-arm partner on this project for so many years, and really looking forward to that partnership growing. Also DSS Commissioner Jenkins, really delighted to be standing here with you today, and of course our City Council member Sandy Nurse, who you'll hear from in a minute. We also have representatives from the offices of Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, State Senator Salazar, Assemblymember Walker, and Assemblymember DeLon. And we're joined by a number of community partners, Local Development Corporation of East New York and NYC Business Solutions Center, Industrial Outreach Center Network, and of course our great partner, who you'll hear from in a minute, on the development project, the Lesser Group. We're here because we care about Broadway Junction, we care about equitable development in New York City, and we care about seeing this area grow. There's been tremendous residential growth. Today is about jobs and opportunities right here on the ground. This administration is focused on rebuilding, renewing, reinventing, and that means every neighborhood and borough in this city, and EDC is really proud to be a partner in that work. We're not just creating jobs, but we're spurring economic development that moves our city forward in its recovery. The site may not look much like much now, but it's going to be home to the largest ever commercial building in Broadway Junction. It'll bring new retail, office space, economic activity right here, and will deliver new amenities to those who live and work nearby. And what's more exciting is how the city plans to lead the way in a strategy that uses our city agencies to our advantage. Our core strategies, city offices revitalizing the economy, brings in an anchor tenant to commercial office space to spur economic activity. Now, we all know as New Yorkers, we've got to bring Midtown Manhattan back. But if we're going to grow an equitable city where people have jobs close to where they live and opportunity, we've got to do that in every commercial core across New York. That's what this mayor is committed to. That's what EDC is committed to. That's what today is about. That's what future announcements in Jamaica, Queens are going to be about, in the South Bronx, and we hope, working in partnership with DCAS over the years, many more. Here we're bringing DSS's Human Resources Administration, the perfect first tenant, which will draw more companies to this space and help revitalize the neighborhood. Over 1,100 employees will eventually be working here from HR&A, and additional employees in the offices and retail spaces. This means new people spending money in the neighborhood and reigniting the local economy. Further, new commercial development can bring jobs closer to home for people who live here. This building is not one and done. As I said, we're going to take this strategy to every community, every downtown district across the city that has not seen commercial growth in recent decades. The core strategy will have a truly meaningful impact towards building a more inclusive economy. We have projects underway both in the Queens and Bronx, and we're excited to see those move forward in the near future. And I want to extend a special shout out again to our colleagues at DCAS, who will be invaluable, not only invaluable on this project, to every project going forward. At NYEDC, under my watch, this administration is focused on East New York, and we have new leadership in place that's going to get the job done. And the first part of that, and I was just talking to the council member, is listening and learning. I'm looking forward to doing a walking tour with you, understanding the community's needs and wants here, and how we can partner better together in the future. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce the council member, Sandy Nurse.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. I am Councilmember Sandy Nurse. My office is just behind Broadway Junction. I always say we're right by the tombstones, and no one really likes to come over there, so that's why we're over here the first out of all the elected officials. But one thing I will say is that there is a need for commercial space. There truly is, and I know just looking for our office space, we have not been able to find really anything. We've only been in retail spaces, so this is truly filling a need. So I want to thank all the elected officials. I won't list them all. There's so many to be named. But I think it's really important to set the stage and context for this development. You know, for decades, East New York has been deprived of opportunities by both the private and public sectors. And East New York has been shaped by racial discrimination, predatory behavior, redlining, and government abandonment and disinvestment. And together, these forces have had a devastating effect. In East New York, we have 23% poverty rate. 6% of the total shelter population is from this Community Board 5. 60% of our population is rent burdened. 50% of their income is going to their rent, and 5% are living in severely overcrowded apartments. A building like this, while it is filling a need, an important need, and it will bring a lot of jobs here, with as many people as it intends to host, it comes with very serious responsibilities and commitments. And I very much plan to be the accountability partner for this project. All around this junction, longtime residents, mostly Black, mostly Latino homeowners are feeling the pressure. Speculation is driving many homeowners to sell. That's why all along Somers, all around the park, all down here, you see a lot of construction, bigger buildings coming up. The west side of the junction, along Parkway, Eastern Parkway and Broadway, a lot of people are feeling the pressure to sell. And this building is only going to increase it. So we need to really work together. I'm ready, I am willing, I am able to work with you and the partners here and the administration to really ensure that we protect the small homeowners, the tenants, the small business owners in this area, and put our money where our values are. Because this is a giant building, it's a drastic change, and there's a lot of other developments coming this way in this area, and we need to make sure that we protect those who have been here. So I stand alongside you. Without a doubt, this HRA site will deliver many much-needed services to the communities of East New York and beyond, even out into Queens as people come here rather than having to go all the way downtown. Without a doubt, that is true. And our office is going to be referring many, many people to the services in this area. So we do thank you for bringing this here. And I just want to say, as the city entertains further economic development projects, we really need to first and foremost drive our public dollars into the local infrastructure, into this local area, into the publicly owned assets that we have. We shouldn't have to wait for private development just to improve this area. The community that's been here for a long time deserves it and has deserved it. So I'm looking forward to you. I'm looking forward to that walking tour. Please do not take my words as harshly. It's all about accountability, and it's all about growth in the right way, community-driven growth in an equitable way. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Council Member. Really appreciate that spirit of partnership, and we are going to be here. And part of the reason we're going to be here is we have an unbelievable staff at EDC who's truly committed. There are lots of them here, but I just want to specifically thank Lauren Wolf, who took a leadership role in this project many years ago and is really driving our strategy around care. So thank you, Lauren. So it's now my pleasure to turn it over to the developer, Abraham Lesser, and his representative, Ross Moskowitz, who's going to speak on behalf of the developer.
Thank you, Andrew. Good morning. My name is Ross Moskowitz. On behalf of the Lesser Group and the entire development team, I'd like to congratulate Mayor Adams. On cue, thank you. Right on time. I'd like to congratulate Mayor Adams and his administration and all of the other stakeholders here and in the audience on this momentous occasion. This project truly defines what is a public-private partnership. It represents a collaboration between multiple public agencies, local businesses to achieve a community goals. In connecting critical city services to the communities that access them and anchoring a commercial hub for local businesses, not-for-profits, and institutions, this transformative project will create new energy and opportunity for the neighborhood. In achieving these goals, this project will produce over 200,000 square feet of brand new Class A office space for HRA. And in fact, just to encourage and to double down in the neighborhood, the Lesser Group has just had his plans approved for next door, another 85,000 square foot office that is shovel ready. As Brooklyn Borough President, Mayor Adams wrote that he wanted this project to create a thriving business district that truly caters to the community. Mayor Adams, we hope that this groundbreaking marks the first step in realizing your vision for this central, critical neighborhood in our city. On behalf of the Lesser Group, I want to thank the team who helped bring us all together and for supporting this effort, including the Mayor's Office, the City Council, representatives from EDC, DCAS, HRA, as well as our development team of the Lesser Group, Complete Development, Marvel Architects, my firm Strook, Marino, Jeff Condrat, HRA Advisors, and many others. We look forward to opening the doors of 2440 Fulton Street for the neighborhood in just a couple of years. And thank you, and good luck, and congrats to all.
Thank you, Ross. 30 years ago, when I was starting my career at the State Urban Development Corporation, I was lucky enough to meet a guy named Bill Wilkins who started to tutor me on what community development was, what industrial development was. I took that, became a part of the roadmap for me when I went to the Navy Yard and other places. So it's really a great pleasure to see our careers come back together again on this project. Ladies and gentlemen, the Director of the Local Development Corporation of East New York, Bill Wilkins. Thanks.
Thank you, Andrew. Yes, we've been in the trenches for a long time. As mentioned, my name is Bill Wilkins. I'm the Director of Economic Development for the Local Development Corporation of East New York. For the past 40 years, we have been servicing the East Brooklyn community in 4 program areas: industrial development and manufacturing, commercial revitalization, entrepreneurship, and lastly, housing. For the past 21 years, I've gone to work 3 blocks from the project site to do mainly 3 things. That is to grow business, change lives, and strengthening communities. The LDC's storied past includes being the first in-place industrial park, the first industrial bid in New York City, the first Empire Zone from Empire State Development, and also one of the first women business centers. Additionally, the LDC has worked with EDC to negotiate over 600,000 square feet of negotiated land sales with the objectives of enhancing the business environment, creating local economic activity, and today's groundbreaking supports our mission to make the area a safe, attractive, vibrant place to live and do business. That is why today's groundbreaking is so monumental and encouraging. We believe today is just the beginning of a transformation. We commend Mayor Adams for prioritizing progress for the Junction. He has been saying it and doing it for years as the borough president. He toured Broadway Junction, then months later, he came back and we held a press conference. He followed up with a study, and now as mayor of New York City, he is back within his first 100 days as part of his economic recovery plan. This is a seminal moment. Let's all come together. The mayor, the borough president, the councilwoman, local stakeholders, local businesses, and residents to take these blocks into the 21st century, turning it into a field of dreams. And yes, urban renewal does not have to mean Black and Latino removal. Now, Mayor Adams is also committed to clean. He's focused on cleaning up crime, cleaning up our city, and he's cleaning in the Board of Health. So, being in East New York, we do call and response. So when I say Eric, you say Adams. When I say Eric, you say Adams. At this time, it is my pleasure to bring to the podium one of the best dressed men in Gotham, the people's mayor, Eric Adams.
Oh, man. You know, I thanks so much, Bill. And, you know, this area, the Junction, means so much to me. District 33, my beginning days as a transit cop. I remember riding through here, seeing the L, the J, the A, just watching a community with so much opportunity just being ignored. And I, too, like Andrew, when I had the opportunity to meet Bill, he was just a visionary. And I was the borough president at the time. We walked through the area, we saw the possibilities, and it was right there. And I think nothing is more applicable than what he stated, that this is a field of dreams. But, you know, as we build it, they will come, but they coming cannot be displacement. There are far too many people who have been here for so long and really wanted to have an opportunity to watch the growth of this community. My auntie lives on 22 Pillen Street. I remember staying with her during the summertime, taking the train here, walking down the block towards the Chauncey Street station, and I knew that we had a great potential and opportunity here. And so, Bill, kudos to you and your entire team for just coming with the vision, and Andrew materializing that vision. We have so many partnerships together, Andrew, back from the days of the Navy Yard to the days of Sunset Park, and I'm so happy you are at the helm right now as we move our city in the right direction. And I want to thank the partnership and commitment to building a more equitable city. Our city is coming back. We are going to make sure that as we come back, we are not going to have a setback for those who have had historical inequalities. We're going to come back together, and I am committed to do that. To doing that. Promises made, promises kept. We're going to say that over and over again in this administration. Almost 100 days in. Sunday, I think we had day 97. Sunday will be 100 days. 100 days in. We have revisited the communities and people who we have met along the way and stated we're going to fulfill the promises I made on the campaign trail. We pointed out our commitment in the blueprint for New York City's economic recovery, and breaking ground on this space here is the continuation of that blueprint. And this is the first project of our CARE strategy. CARE standing for, it's an acronym for City Agencies Revitalizing the Economy. And we're going to be deploying this approach throughout the entire city. We're going to go to places like the Bronx, Queens, and ensure that we utilize government resources to uplift entire communities. And it's not just an office building. It's so much more than that. It is the city staff, people who come to the location, all of the employees, they're going into the local restaurant, the local bodegas, the local stores, and they're helping boost the entire economy. And you can look at this location. Broadway Junction is a transit center, and it has been underutilized for so long. It allows New Yorkers to come to a central location if it means taking the A train, the J train, the L train, and the multiple number of buses, and it's a safe place. Right at the foot of Broadway Junction is District 33, which is the transit district, and it plays the level of safety that we need. It has been underserved for far too long. Today, we change that. We start not only to put a shovel in the ground, but we start the opportunities of investing in a community that has been long overlooked. We're kickstarting the economic growth in this area right here in Brooklyn. City government is leading the way. How many jobs? 1,000 jobs. 1,000 jobs with 1,000 opportunities to really feed into the economic growth of the city. Hold on, this may be the president, and I don't want to miss it. It's the days of cell phones. Lose your life. The 1,000 people will be buying coffee, buying sodas, buying vegan sandwiches, and all other healthy things they have in their community. So there's some great possibilities here, and we're shifting the city space closer to communities so they can have access to the communities and services that they need right in their neighborhood, giving New Yorkers greater access to city resources, agencies, and people, and making cost efficiency by moving our offices from expensive spaces in Manhattan and other locations so that we can bring in businesses which we are going to attract to our city to have those more costly spaces, but making the best out of taxpayers' dollars. And so a few weeks ago, when I outlined my blueprint for economic recovery, I spoke of going back to the way things were before, but we're not going back where we're ignoring those who were impacted greatly by the pandemic. We're building a more inclusive economy that works for all New Yorkers. This is about reimagining our communities and giving the hope and opportunity by doing so. We know, and clearly you know, New York is the economic engine of the nation. The way goes New York, goes America. If we get it right here, America will get it right. And I want us to set the standard across the entire country and show the rest of the country how you do inclusive development. And so I'm excited about this project. I'm excited about putting the shovel in the ground and returning to the commitment that I made to this community and the leaders of the community. We can do this in partnership as we finally reach towards East New York, South Bronx, South Jamaica, Queens, Rockaways, all of these communities that have watched the buildings go up, but their hopes and opportunities were going down. We're moving in the right direction, and thank everyone who's a part of this initiative. All of you who are sitting here, this is your victory, as much as it is the victory of this administration. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. You want to speak? Okay. We'll open a few questions.
We're going to start with on-topic questions. If folks have on-topic questions, yeah, Johnny, you go ahead.
Given the continued presence of remote work and, lots of office space that's still empty because people haven't come back, does growing commercial space still, necessarily translate to new jobs today?
You said growing office?
Expanding commercial space still translates to jobs given remote work?
Well, this space that we're building here, we're going to move city agencies here, DSS. They're going to relocate here. So that translates into jobs. People are coming here to this community. Not only are we going to allow those city employees to spend money here, but those city employees also are going to give the accessibility to those who need the services. If you were to do a GIS mapping, many of the people in this community, they are looking for the services that are now going to be local. That's a huge change from having people go downtown. We're going to have the services where people need them.
Other on-topics, Emily?
Mayor Adams and Mr. Wilkins, can you detail more how you'll stop the displacement of Black and brown New Yorkers? That's very specific that's a priority of yours.
Well, number one, by having our local businesses. Our local businesses are going to be here. We're going to continue to make sure that we develop here in housing. We're going to partner with the council person, the assembly person, the state senator in this area to hear their plan about how we want to do affordable housing in this area. And we're going to go after those who harass tenants and displace them. We had a case yesterday that I received a call day before yesterday at 2 a.m. in the morning where a landlord illegally evicted a tenant. Our police department is going to go seek out that landlord and take the necessary action. So we must protect tenants where they are, make sure they have access to fair proceedings in court, and make sure we build at an affordable rate. And we're going to need the partners of our local electeds to do that.
On-topics, Andrew?
Mayor, do you anticipate that the 1,100 people that you're moving, most of whom are going to downtown Brooklyn offices right now, will be excited about transit out to East New York, or do you anticipate you might get some pushback on this?
They're going to be excited. Who doesn't want to come to East New York? Everybody loves East New York. They're going to be excited to do so. And what's interesting, many of them live in East New York. Many of them live in areas where they're commuting 2 hours to get to their place of employment. So when we talk about live, work communities, we're not only talking about affluent communities. We need to have that live, work community throughout the entire city. And so I love coming to East New York. I think everybody would love that.
Thank you. You mentioned 1,000 jobs that are going to be created from this. Just a point of clarification, are you saying that 1,000 new jobs are going to be created, or it's just office jobs at other city agencies that are not going to come here? On that same point, if it is new jobs, is there any guardrails in place to make sure that those jobs go to members of the actual local community?
You want to answer that, Andrew?
Yeah, the exciting thing about this program, again, not just here, but we'll be rolling it out in other communities, is that the city agency provides the anchor tenancy, which provides the economics for a building to go up. In each one of those buildings, there'll be a significant amount of additional space. In this project, it's about 80,000 square feet of space that will go to other tenancies. So the council member talked about how she was looking for affordable space in the neighborhood. Could be here if it was up and open. Could be for other local small businesses. Part of the key undertakings that EDC will have here is working with the folks on the ground, like Bill Wilkins, to make sure that local businesses know of the opportunity and have access to it going forward. So there'll be 1,000 jobs coming here from the city agency. Some of those folks already live locally, some don't. They'll be coming from other communities, but then there'll be other businesses here that will create hundreds of additional jobs on top of that. We hope many of those locally as well, and again, we'll be working with our partners on the ground.
You have an on-topic, right? Okay, go ahead.
I guess Andrew was going to answer this. Can you run through the taxpayer...
It's a little hard to hear you.
Sorry about
That's
that.
all good, all good.
Can you run through the taxpayer subsidies that are involved in this program?
Zero.
Any last on-topics? Steve, you got one?
Yeah, before you arrived, Councilmember Nurse had some fairly strong words about how the city needs to help avoid speculation, avoid displacement. I wonder if Councilmember Nurse, you can expand on what you'd like to see from the administration, and Mayor, if you could respond to what you'd like to see.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Hello. So yeah, what I was saying is there's a lot of pressure already existing on here, speculative pressure. A lot of buildings right now are being sold. A lot of homeowners are selling. As I mentioned, there's a bunch right here and right here along Herkimer. So what I would like to see is a real dollar investment in how we're going to support tenants and small homeowners, whether it's through foreclosure prevention, whether it's through getting their buildings up to code, whether it's through supporting our aging population, our aging homeowners who are mostly over here. We just had a case just recently over here of elder abuse in an illegal SRO right here on Hull Street. So there's a lot of need, and we don't have as much money behind it. I would like to see in our city council budget that gets passed in June a more significant investment in housing, displacement prevention, and capital money for building affordable housing and at the bands that we need, 30, 40% here. This is what we need here in East New York. And this building is gonna put a lot of pressure. There's over 1,000 people here. It's going to put a lot of pressure on this area. A potential redevelopment of Broadway Junction is going to put a lot of pressure on this area. So if that is what the city is prioritizing, I'm saying I would like to work with the mayor. I'd like to work with all the partners here to ensure that the people who are here, the small businesses who are here, are protected. And there's a dollar amount supporting that statement. So thank you.
I agree. Next.
All right, so we'll clear folks out and we'll take some off topics.
Okay, what we're doing is shoveling stuff.
We'll take off topic. We'll
Okay, so why don't you go into the tent, on the tent.
We'll do this quickly and then we will do our photo.
Come and do a couple of off topic.
So we got Greg.
So, Mayor Adams, I just want to ask you about the program that the prior administration put in place during the pandemic to move Rikers and State Prison inmates who were being released into hotels. And what happened this either Monday or Friday, you got a letter from a number of Queens elected officials who are concerned about why is this program continuing when prior administration told them that this was going to be a COVID-related program, and it no longer is. So can you just address their concerns?
Okay.
And tell me, is there an end game here?
Yes, there is. First of all, I don't know who thought COVID was over, but it's not, because you just had on a mask, so it's obvious you know it's still here. This is a.
Greg, let him answer the question.
Your contract was before, the prior contract was specifically COVID-related emergency. This contract that you are proposing right now is non-COVID.
Again, COVID is still here, and the team did not want a disruption of services, because I think it's interesting that people talk about making sure we protect those who are in need, who are leaving incarceration. But when we're doing it without a disruption of services, I'm getting a letter saying, let's do a disruption of services. We don't want a disruption of services, and we're going to make the right decision that those who are coming home from incarceration, that I'm going to fight for, that we're going to make sure we don't have a disruption of services. And that is why we're taking action that we're doing. And when there's need to reevaluate a new contract, we're going to do that.
Do you support the current plan to build 10 skyscrapers in Manhattan to fund upgrades to Penn Station? And are there any changes your administration is seeking to the plan?
The plan to?
The plan to upgrade Penn Station and build 10 skyscrapers in the area.
We're still evaluating that. I think it's time to do something new in the Penn Station area. We're going to partner with the local elected official. The council members' opinion it means a lot to me when it comes down to developing in the areas. And we're going to speak with them and find out what their vision is, as well as the state lawmakers, the assembly. It's about a partnership. It's not about just not hearing from those local electeds.
Mayor Adams, like it or not, you're now in the middle of a political rivalry with Florida, with Governor DeSantis. I want you to speak to that broadly, but also now you're the face and the voice of New York values.
Well, first of all, I like rivalries with other states. I have traveled to Florida, and I'm trying to steal their companies. I'm going all over the country. And they've been doing it to us for a long time. They've been coming to New York, taking our businesses away. So listen, watch out. Eric is going to their countries. I'm buying my plane tickets, and New York is the place to be. And so specifically with the Don't Say Gay, he was wrong, period. And it was political posturing. He's aware that in their school system at that age, they don't do sex education. So why was the bill passed? What was the purpose of that? And so I believe whenever someone attempts to bully someone, that you need to stand up and protect them. That's what I did as a student, as a police officer, as a state senator, as a borough president, now as the mayor.
Mayor, you just said you value council member input. Recently, the Progressive Caucus of the council, which is a majority of the council, put out a letter on homeless encampment saying what you're doing is cruel, it's callous, it creates more harm for this population. Given that it's a majority of the council, how do you plan on working with this council when it is diametrically opposed to you in this instance?
Well, let's be clear here. The partnership is hearing the voices of those. Consult, not consent. We need to be clear on that. Let me tell you what's cruel. Cruel is having people live in cardboard boxes and tents, human waste, drug paraphernalia, no bathrooms, no showers, no place to put your clothing. That's cruel. And so I want to work with my council members, and I would like to see them with me at 2 in the morning when I'm on the train stations talking to people who are homeless. I want to see them at 4 a.m. when I'm going to encampment sites. It is easy to be in the sterilized environment of the council chambers and state we should leave people sleeping on the street. I want partners. Let's go out there together. Let's talk people into the shelters. Let's look at the brochures. Come with me at night when I go to shelters to inspect the conditions of shelters. I want those partners together. I am not going to leave New Yorkers living on the street. That's not happening. It's been too long. We've ignored it. We act like it didn't exist. That is not what my administration is about. We're going to place them in shelters, permanent housing, and we're going to demand, that's why Gary Jenkins is here, who lived in a shelter once. That's why he's here. That's why he's my commissioner. We're going to make sure those shelters are safe, clean, and transition people into permanent housing. There is nothing dignified one day of having someone live on the street. I'm not going to allow that to happen.
I think that's a good note, folks. So
No. Because if you don't, they're going to talk about me, How you doing? Yes. Yes, you can. We'll do about 3 more, and then we got to do this shovel.
All right. So my first question is about the now former city attorney who confronted you at your last press conference on Monday. 3 questions. Did you know she was a city attorney when she confronted you? What was your reaction to both the interaction you had with her and finding out she was a city attorney? And did you make the call to fire her?
Great questions. One, if anyone who was there at the press conference, when she spoke, it was clearly she was not a reporter, but what did I do? I say allow her to speak. We started allowing her to speak. I'm not going to be disrespectful and not allow her to speak. She spoke. I didn't know who she was. You know, there's a group that's traveling around the city, banging on the doors of my health commissioner, even though his children are inside, yelling and screaming, threatening his life. There's a group that's running around the city who is the numerical minority, but they're allowed, so people believe that they are the majority. Got it. Did not know who she was, did not make the call to fire her. It doesn't bother me when people say names, call names at me. Listen, I'm an ex-cop. People have been calling me names for years. Doesn't bother me. But what she tweeted, sent out, it was inappropriate. And the law department made the decision and notified me prior to that press conference of their actions. And any questions you could find out from the law department. I had no interaction with that at all.
And my second question is on a report in the city.nyc this morning that you met with Mets owner Steve Cohen in January. I'm wondering if he pitched you on his casino in Willits Point, what you think of the idea of a casino in Willits Point, and whether his donations to your PAC influence your decision to meet?
None at all. And I don't go into private conversations, but I meet with everybody. I mean, that's my, I met with Hawk Newsom. I met with, I don't understand why people think a mayor shouldn't meet with everyone. I meet with everyone. I'll meet with you.
Casino at City Field, yes or no?
Listen, we're looking at all the proposals. We want the best for New York City. We want the economic development. Whatever happens in New York City, we think this is the best place, and we're examining all the proposals.
Thank you. We reported the other day that Assistant Deputy DOC Warden Wayne Price has been named as the commanding officer of the Rikers Island Health Management Division. That's the division that oversees the troubled sick leave system on the island. This is in spite of the fact that Mr. Price has himself been under investigation for allegedly violating the sick pay system. Were you aware of this appointment before it was made, and do you think it's appropriate for him to have that role given the allegations?
No, wasn't aware. 2, it's a temporary assignment. They posted to get someone to fill that assignment. And 3, listen, I just love Commissioner Molina. Love him. This is the first inning of a 9-inning game, and during the inning, there's going to be a lot of things that's happening, but at the end of the game, we're going to win. The guy's the best guy for the job. First Latino to hold a position, sincere. He's there early in the morning. He's committed. He's dedicated. Rikers was a mess. The mess didn't start January 1st. It has been a mess for years. Molina is the right person, and I just have the utmost faith in him. I just love the guy, and he's going to do an amazing job as a commissioner.
Price, though, even on a temporary assignment, is it appropriate for him to hold that role?
I think that Commissioner Molina made a decision, temporary, and whatever he decides, I support him 100% because he's going to get it right. He's going to fix Rikers.
Let's take some photos.
Poll out today that says 59% of New Yorkers think that their family would be better off if they permanently moved out of New York City. This is from Qantas Core, this poll out. What do you make of that? Your 100 days in is coming up this weekend to hear that 59% of the city would rather be somewhere else.
This is an Arnold Schwarzenegger moment. They'll be back.